Wife developed a male best friend. I never posted on Reddit before, but I've been unable to find peace for a while now. Me and my wife have been married for almost 8 years. We got a 6-year-old son together, and a 15-year-old daughter, my stepdaughter. Yeah, I got with a single mom. We're 31 and 32. We're both nurses. Got a house together. I know what some of you are thinking, marrying a nurse. But hell, I'm a nurse too. She had a kid at 16 or 17, and I knew that going in, what can I say? I fell for her. My wife hasn't had many female friends. Her last best friend got married, had kids, and pretty much dropped off the face of the earth, at least from my wife's perspective. My wife's an extrovert, and she was feeling pretty depressed about it. I mean, who wouldn't? She picked up pickleball a few years ago and started getting more social. I was happy for her. We both were. I even played some, but she was an ex-tennis player, so she was miles ahead of me. I loved going to her matches and tournaments, watching her play. Eventually, she and a small group of players rose to the top. They had no real competition in our area. That's when one guy and her started practicing together, playing in tournaments, even driving 2 hours to pickleball leagues. I mean, 2 hour drives for pickleball. I thought, all right, a hobby, that's cool. But this felt like a bit much, especially with the late nights. A lot of these league nights or just regular pickleball nights ran late. When one league was active, she'd usually come home around midnight at best. One time, it wasn't even pickleball. They went to a casino, and she didn't get home until 2 or 3 a.m. I was pissed. And, I mean, what the hell? She was acting like a single woman, like she didn't have a 6-year-old son or a 15-year-old daughter who still needed her mom. I wanted her to have friends, honestly, and at first, I told myself I didn't care if they were male. I was trying to be the cool, understanding husband. But what started to bother me was how it felt. I'd express my concerns, and sometimes she'd hear me out. Other times, it would get heated, mostly because I couldn't reconcile it. And for her, the discussion was just over. She'd shut down, get tired of the conversation, and walk away. It was clear she didn't like me drawing boundaries. She was treating me and our family like a low priority. This pickleball buddy was becoming more important than her husband. As of now, she has decreased, but not eliminated. The late nights, most of the time, she gets home around 8 or 9 p.m. This happens once or twice a week, which is better, I guess. But now, with this guy, it's become an important and not up for debate friendship. We talked about him, and she at least wants to go out for drinks with him once a week, usually before I get off work at 7 p.m. Are you kidding me? For all the married guys out there, you know damn well trying to get out with your wife once a week is a challenge. And she's out with this guy at least once a week. This is what happens when you don't draw and enforce boundaries in your relationship. When she travels for pickleball, she wants to ride with him and have conversation. They usually eat together and sometimes visit a brewery as a group. This ain't good. Man, internally, I felt wrecked by this. We'd always been close. Before we even dated, we were best friends. And eventually, we admitted feelings for each other. Our life together blossomed after that. So, of course, my mind went to places I didn't want it to go, but I tried to be unbiased. She's extremely loyal to me, I kept telling myself, and I wanted to believe her that this was just a friendship. But if she was so loyal, why was I even writing this post? Loyalty doesn't look like this. The problem was, it became a take it or let's divorce situation. That's what she was saying, straight up. You accept this, or we get divorced. Does that sound like someone loyal? I was willing to drop anything to keep the marriage, work, hobbies, whatever. It seemed concerning that I wasn't losing a best friend. If you can't be okay with that, then divorce me. That line right there, man, that hit me harder than the friendship itself. Because she was communicating loud and clear. You don't matter. I tried to express that I had no issue with opposite sex friendships. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they hung out as a group. It was the one-on-one drinks, riding together alone, and late nights that bothered me. But I knew what it really boiled down to. I didn't like her being with another guy like this. If she really loved me, her husband, she wouldn't be out with this dude. To be fair, she did work on how often she played and how late she was out, but I couldn't ease my mind. It wasn't fair to me. We'd been married for almost 8 years, and this friendship had developed over the last 6 months at most. It seemed striking to say, let's divorce over a 6-month friend. But it wasn't about him. It was about how she was treating me, whether it was 6 months or 1 month. Her actions screamed everything. Most people don't get that. It's amazing to me. As of now, I believed I would have to ask for a divorce or a huge change to their friendship. I just wished for some insight. We were going on dates more. Our home life was honestly great. From my point of view, anyway. I cooked every meal, even after work. I helped with the cleaning. Yeah, I cooked every meal. She was too busy playing pickleball with Bill or whatever his name was. Me and my son are best friends, and I'm close with our stepdaughter, too. I really valued this life that we had, but she clearly didn't value it the same way. I couldn't imagine being without it, but I wasn't sure I could stop bringing this up to her, and I was getting more angry with her from time to time. I couldn't change who I was and how I felt, and she thought she couldn't either. But she could. My gut was screaming that something was wrong. I didn't like being treated like a second-class citizen. I didn't like being disrespected, and she didn't care. End of story. In her mind, she had my number. I wasn't going anywhere. I got with her when she was a single mom, for God's sake, and had a kid at 16 or 17. She figured I wasn't going anywhere now. Then, the update came. I spoke with his wife. Yeah, that dude, the pickleball guy, he's married too. As I stated, his wife had reached out to me previously. She had set boundaries with him before, but she was unaware they were still going out for drinks and riding together. So now we had two married couples, two pissed off spouses. She, his wife, was very upset and confronted him. She pretty much stated, no contact. He called my wife and explained the situation. So, that jerk-off's wife was pissed off at him. I was pissed off at my wife. We could all see where this was going. My wife came home and said it was over. 0% chance of fixing anything. Just like that. She was throwing away our marriage. Really? For Fred? Come on. Man, we all knew what was happening, or at least suspected it, and she'd blame it on me. You pushed us together, she said. She felt that I broke her trust, a kind of twisted way to view it. I guess she was cold, angry, and said a lot of hurtful things. So, hey, the next process of figuring things out started then. I guess this did what I couldn't do. That was the end of our situation. My biggest concern, honestly, was sharing our son. I couldn't fathom not seeing him after school and at bedtime. And there you go. Guys, that's why no female friends for you guys, and no guy friends for your serious girlfriend or wife. End of story. I mean, there are people you're acquainted with, you may see as a group, but in terms of friends you talk to and hang out with, no, unacceptable. But these wives want to behave like they're still single, or at least not married, or don't have kids. If your wife doesn't make you and your kids a top priority, this says everything you need to know. Now, all I can advise this guy is to get a good lawyer and prepare to go to war, because now she's going to fight to have this guy. But what I expect will probably happen is that this guy, her pickleball buddy, probably won't leave his wife, and then she'll be wanting me to take her back. No, it's over. I just hope he understands this. And yeah, it's going to be tough with the 6-year-old. But you can't stay with somebody like this. Life's too short. Guys, you can't be with someone that treats you with disrespect like this. So, I'm glad it turned out this way. It's honestly good in the end, but we could all see it coming. Anyway, no friends for the wives. No guy friends for the wives. It's just a bad idea. This situation blindsided me. I mean, sure, I saw the red flags, but I kept telling myself, nah, she wouldn't do that. That's the real mistake I made. Not trusting my gut. Not listening to that little voice in my head that was screaming, this ain't right. Man, I've always been the type to give people the benefit of the doubt, to try and see the best in them. My friends always told me I was too trusting, too willing to forgive, and hell, they were right. I thought I was different, that I could handle whatever came my way. I guess I found out the hard way. I remember the first time she mentioned this guy, Fred. She called him just a pickleball partner. I didn't think much of it at first. She was happy, finally getting out of that funk she was in after her last friend bailed. I wanted her to be happy, to have a life outside of work and the kids. That's the trap, isn't it? You want your partner to be fulfilled, so you overlook the small stuff, the subtle shifts. She started staying out later, coming home smelling faintly of beer, or sometimes just a different scent I couldn't place. She'd brush it off. Oh, just the group went to a brewery after, team bonding, and I'd nod, a knot forming in my stomach that I tried to ignore. I'd tell myself, she's just being social. She's an extrovert, but the late nights turned into midnight, then 1 a.m., and then that casino night, which was a full-blown punch to the gut. 2 or 3 a.m., that's not a friend, that's a damn date. I confronted her about it, calmly at first. Hey, babe, that was pretty late. What happened? She got defensive. Immediately. What? You don't trust me. We were with a group. You're being controlling. That's the classic line, isn't it? Controlling, as if caring about your wife and the mother of your kids coming home at 3 a.m. is some kind of character flaw. I tried to explain my concerns, how it looked, how it felt, but she'd just shut down, get that glazed over look in her eyes, and say, "I'm tired of this conversation." Then she'd walk away, leaving me standing there feeling like I was talking to a brick wall. I should have put my foot down then, should have said, "No, this conversation isn't over. This is affecting me. It's affecting us." But I didn't. I let her walk away. I let that little bit of respect for my feelings chip away. I was so afraid of conflict, so afraid of losing the peace we had, that I let her dictate the terms. That was my mistake, my biggest mistake. I was trying to preserve a marriage she clearly wasn't valuing the same way. Then came the important and not up for debate friendship talk. That's when I knew this was more than just pickleball. When she started saying she wanted to go out for drinks with him, one-on-one, before I even got off work. That was it. That was the line. I cook every meal. I help with cleaning. I'm busting my ass at work as a nurse, and she's out getting drinks with some dude while I'm still on shift. It felt like a slap in the face. I tried to be reasonable. "Honey, you know how hard it is for us to even get a date night. You're going out with him, alone, once a week. What about us?" And that's when the take it or let's divorce line came out. Clear as day. No hesitation. Just a cold, hard ultimatum. That was the moment my gut went from a knot to a gaping hole. It wasn't about the pickleball anymore. It was about her asserting her independence, her desire to do whatever the hell she wanted, regardless of my feelings or our marriage vows. I felt like I was losing my mind. One minute, she'd be all loving and affectionate at home, and the next, she's talking about how I'm controlling for not wanting her out late with another man. It was like living with two different people. The public persona, the charming wife who played pickleball, and the private reality, the woman who was willing to blow up our family for a friendship, my male friends, the ones I'd grab a beer with when I actually had a minute. They saw it. They saw the shift in her, the way she was treating me. "Dude, she's walking all over you." One of them said. "That ain't right." I'd defend her. "Of course. No. She's just going through a phase. She needs her friends." I was a damn fool. I was defending her to the very people who were trying to snap me back to reality. I tried to tell myself she was loyal. I wanted to believe it so bad because the alternative was too painful to consider. But loyal people don't give ultimatums like that. Loyal people don't prioritize some new friendship over their family, over their husband. The real turning point, the one that brought this whole shit show to a head, wasn't anything I did. It was Fred's wife. She reached out to me, said she knew about the pickleball, about the tournaments, but she didn't know they were going out for drinks alone, or riding together on those 2-hour drives. When she found out, she was furious. She had already set boundaries with him before. Apparently, this wasn't a new pattern for him either. That's when the pieces clicked into place. This wasn't just my wife. This was a whole damn situation with another married couple. She confronted Fred, laid down the law. No contact. My wife came home that night, and the air in the house was thick with anger. She didn't even look at me, just walked in, slammed her bag down, and said, "It's over. 0% chance of fixing anything." Just like that, 8 years, a son, a stepdaughter, a life built together, all gone for a 6-month friendship, and she blamed me. "You pushed us together," she hissed. "You broke my trust. My trust." I was the one who was being disrespected, lied to, and now, apparently, blamed for her actions. The audacity, man, it was breathtaking. She was cold, angry, and said a lot of hurtful things I won't repeat. It was clear she didn't care about my feelings, or our sons, or our stepdaughters. She only cared about her own perceived freedom, her own desires. It was a brutal dose of reality. The mask was off. The charming wife was gone, replaced by a woman who valued a casual connection with another man more than the vows she made to me. Now, the process of figuring things out has begun. My biggest concern is sharing our son. The thought of not seeing him every day, not being there for bedtime, or picking him up from school, that's what truly tears me up inside. Everything else, the house, the money, all that can be replaced. But time with my son, that's irreplaceable. I'm talking to a lawyer. It's going to be a fight. I know it. She's going to make it hard. But I can't stay with someone who treats me like this. Life is too short to be with someone who doesn't respect you, who doesn't prioritize their family. I always believed in working through things, in fighting for your marriage. But how do you fight when the other person has already given up? When they're already walking away for something so flimsy? I'm realizing now, with a little distance, how clear the signs were all along. the lack of female friends, the defensiveness, the constant need for external validation. I saw them, but I just didn't want to believe they meant what they meant. I wanted to be the guy who could make it work, the guy who could save her from her past. Foolish, I know, but when you're in it, when you're invested, it's hard to see things clearly. I hope Fred's wife stands her ground. I hope she doesn't take him back. And I damn sure hope my wife gets a reality check when her pickleball buddy doesn't leave his wife for her. Because that's what this is really about, isn't it? Her wanting something she thought was better, brighter, more exciting. And me, the stable, reliable husband, was just collateral damage. This whole experience has been a brutal lesson. It's tough. It hurts like hell. But in a strange way, I feel like I'm finally getting clarity. I can't change who I am and how I feel when I'm being disrespected. And she can't change who she is. Either, and that's the problem, we're on different pages. Always have been. Probably always will be. It's time to move on. To protect my son and to rebuild a life where I'm valued, where my family is the priority, and where boundaries aren't just suggestions. They're absolutes.